Shalom everybody, welcome to the Faith in Christ channel. I don't usually go for an English content, but today, for some reason, I decided to go for an English content. If you've been around Christian, you probably heard about the word Sabbath. The word Sabbath simply means the rest, or the end, or to destroy. This could be meant differently according to the context that you read in the Bible. Sabbath is one of the most important and crucial doctrine among the Christian. Some are going very extreme on this doctrine. This is where we all get it wrong. Today I want to point out a 3 point that we all need to know. Every Christian needs to know about the Sabbath. So some are going very extremely about the Sabbath. Those are called, the group that call are Seventh-day Adventists. So therefore, it is important to know, do we still need to keep the Sabbath on the New Testament Christian or a Gentile Christian? And also, is it only for the Jews or the whole world? Or is it only for God? That is one of the most important 3 points that I have to point out today on this video. As the Word of God tells us in 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15, the workman that need not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of the truth, and study to show thyself unto God. Paul is encouraging to study the word of the God and dividing the word of the truth in a different place, in a different time, and a different people. So when we divided the word of the truth, that is where we get the right doctrine, the right teaching. When you mix up all the teaching, all the verse in the Bible, when you mix up, this is where you get it wrong. So we're going to divide the Sabbath in 3 parts. One would be creation Sabbath. Creation Sabbath. What does it mean by creation Sabbath? Let us read for Genesis chapter 2 verse 2 to 3. And on the 7th day God ended his work which he had done. And he rested on the 7th day from all the work he had done. And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because in it he rests from all his work which God had created and made. So why do I call this as a creation Sabbath? Because men are not the creator of the universe. God is the creator of the universe, and who rests on the Genesis chapter 2 verse 2? Not man, but God. Rest from what? Rest from what? He rested from creation. He created the universe and he rested, which means he do not need to continue to create the universe. It's already ended on the 6th day. And he started resting from the 7th day, and is still going on until today. God do not create the universe or the worlds again. So what I need to point out is God rested day is continuously going on until today. God never stopped resting, whether it is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. God rests all day until today. This is creation Sabbath. And also if we go to the New Testament, Jesus say, my Father is still working until today. What does it mean? In Genesis 2, chapter 2, verse 2, we see God rested. And also Jesus say, my Father is still working. What does it mean? That are the contradiction? It's actually Jesus is saying God is still working, taking care of his creation. God do not create the universe until today. He already rested on the 7th day. So the point is, this Sabbath is creation Shabbat. Do not get this mixed up. Otherwise, you're going to get it wrong. Creation Shabbat is already started from Genesis chapter 2 when God stopped working. When God stopped creating. Until today, it's never end. That is creation Shabbat, not for the man, because men are not a creator. And the second Sabbath was man's Sabbath. Man's Sabbath is for all the men, not only Jew, not only Gentiles, but for all men. Here in the passage, New Testament says, Mark chapter 2, verse 27. I'm going to repeat it again. Mark chapter 2, verse 27. And he said to them, the Sabbath was made for a man, and not a man for the Sabbath. Here, it is clear that a Sabbath is for a man. This Sabbath is not a creation Sabbath. This Sabbath is a rest for a man. Don't get these two mixed up. God created the universe and He rests. That's a creation Sabbath. And another Sabbath is man's Sabbath. Who is going to rest on a man's Sabbath? The men are going to rest on a man's Sabbath. It's made for man. But creation Sabbath is not a rest for a man. Creation Sabbath is a rest for God. Until today, God rests creating. But He's still working on taking care of His creation. Don't get these two mixed up, otherwise you're gonna go up for a very major wrong doctrine, an evil doctrine. So you need to separate them side by side. And also, another one is Israelite Sabbath. What is Israelite Sabbath? In creation Sabbath, only God rests. In man's Sabbath, all the men should be rest. And Israelite Sabbath, who is going to rest? Who do you think is going to rest on the man's Sabbath? Are the Israelite people. Because this is for Israelite people. Let us read for Exodus chapter 31 verse 13. You are to speak to the people of Israel and say, above all, you shall keep my Sabbath, for this is a sign between me and you throughout your generation. You see, whose generation? The generation of Israelite people. Keep in mind, and that you may know that I am the Lord, sanctify you. Between who? Between God and Israelite people. This is just a sign. These are not a real Shabbat. These are not a real Shabbat that all men should be rested. It's only for the Jewish people. And this is to be kept on the seventh day. Alright? Let's go for another Exodus chapter 31 verse 16 to 17. Therefore the people of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, observing the Sabbath throughout their generation. Here we say generation. Whose generation? Is Israelite people. Don't get this mixed up. As the covenant forever. Covenant between who and who? Covenant between God and Israelite people. It is a sign forever between me and the people of Israel. Yeah, this is going to be dealt between God and Israelite, not a Gentile. Keep in mind, not a Gentile. Israelite people. The generation of the Israelite people. That is the sixth day the Lord had made the heavens and earth, which means universe. And on the seventh day, He rested. He rested and was refreshed. Okay. So therefore, this is only for the Jewish people. And also, this is not a real Sabbath. This is only a shadow. We're going to expose this on the New Testament. Let us read another verse. Ezekiel chapter 20 verse 12. Moreover, I give them my Sabbath as a sign. What kind of Sabbath? A sign is a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am the Lord who has sanctified them. Okay, what kind of a Sabbath God has given to the Israelite people on the seventh day is a sign. That's not a real thing. That's not a real, that's a sign. That's just a sign. Which means it has a reality, which means a reality to come on the future. So this is not a God ultimate purpose to rest on the seventh day, on the day. Alright? This is just a sign. This sign is only for the Israelite people. Therefore, I would like to say, the sign that which is given to the Israelite people is not for the whole world. It's only for the Israelite people. It is a way more to prepare the reality to come. When the reality is coming, the sign which only prepare for the reality to come has to be ended. Because when we already have the real rest, the faith, the shadow has to be stopped. Here we go again, another verse to prove that it is only for the only for the Israelite people. In Ezekiel chapter 20 verse 20, and keep my Sabbath holy, that they might be a sign. Okay, what is this for? It's for a sign between me and you, that you may know that I am the Lord your God. This is just a sign between God and the Israelite people, not for the whole world. What is the whole world? The main Sabbath is the rest for the humanity. All the humanity, not only as Israelite people, is different. Okay? First one is creation Sabbath. Who rests? God rests. Rest from what? Rest from creation. The second one is man Sabbath. Man Sabbath, who rests? Man rests. Right? The whole world, for the whole humanity. And the third one is Israelite Sabbath. Israelite Sabbath is for who? For Israelite people. Because God say this is for the generation of the Israelite people. Only Israelite people. Okay? This has to be observed physically with your body. Okay? On the day of 7th. Okay? Okay. The main purpose, the main reason that God has given us a Sabbath is man's Sabbath. Adam and Eve, when did Sabbath start for Adam and Eve? From the Garden of Eden, from the day that they born, God has made them on the 6th day, and from the 7th day, the Sabbath has going on. No matter which day it is. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's never stopped. It's still going. So creation Sabbath, which is God rest, never stopped. Until today, God has never made the universe again. God is still rested from a creation. And man's Sabbath is start from the 7th day, and it's still going on. And it's never stopped. And when it's going to be stopped? When is going to be end man's Sabbath? The day that they start working, right? Sabbath simply means, as I said, Sabbath simply means rest. And when this rest is going to end? When they start working. Because God has provided all the food, that what are they going to eat and what do they need spiritually or physically. God has providing them on the Garden of Eden. So Adam need not to be woke, and he don't need to be worried what I'm going to eat today and what I'm going to eat tomorrow, what I'm going to wear. Do not worry about your body, what I'm going to eat and what I'm going to wear about your body. Because God has given Adam and Eve to eat all the fruit of the tree from the Garden of Eden. They can enjoy the fruit. They can enjoy all the food freely. They do not need to be worked. That's mean full rest, not only on spirituals, but only on physically. They don't need to work hard. No labors, no hardship, no hard work. Free provided by God. That's mean they can rest today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, Monday. It doesn't matter. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every day is going to be rest for them, both physically and spiritually. Every day they are going to observe Sabbath. All right? This is man's Sabbath. This is ultimate purpose of God for the whole humanity, the whole world. But this has been broken. When did this Sabbath end? The man's Sabbath. When did this man's Sabbath, the rest Sabbath, everyday Sabbath has been ended? It ended on Genesis chapter 3, when God and man are separated. When man rebels against God and want to be independently taking care of themselves, and they have to work by themselves. From that day, their rest, their Sabbath has been ended, and they start working. They need to be working. So before, all the food has been provided by Yahweh, and they don't need to work for themselves. But now they have to work by themselves and eat the fruit with hard work. Let me read from Genesis chapter 3 verse 16. I'm going to read from 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In the sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, And thy desire shall be unto thy husband, and shall rule over thee. 17. Unto the enemy said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten the fruit of the tree, of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground. Listen carefully. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. Because of Adam, the ground, the whole world, is going to be cursed, under the curse. In sorrow shall thou eat. In sorrow shall eat. Before they get provided freely. No need to work. Every day is Sabbath. But now there's no more Sabbath. They have to work by themselves. Work is started. Eat of it. And all the day of your life, all the day of their life, they have to work very hard. No Shabbat at all. No Sabbath at all. And 18, thorns also and thistle shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. How they are going to eat the fruit of the field? With a herb, with hard work, and also with struggle, with the sweat that dripping on their face. They have to work very hard to get just to get the food. And in 19, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat the bread. How they are going to eat the bread now? With the sweat of thy face, right? Dripping the sweat, even to their face. They have to work really hard until today, till thou return unto the ground, until you die, which means until you die. For out of it was thou taken, for lust thou art, and unto the dust shalt thou return. Yeah. This is where the Sabbath is ended. Man's Sabbath. For everybody, God has provided a Sabbath both physically and spiritually for the whole humanity. And when human being rebels against God, the Sabbath has ended. No free food, no free take care. They have to work by themselves. God has driven them out from the Garden of Eden. And from now on, he has to labor very hard, very, very hard. And even the sweat that's dripping out from their face, and they have to work really hard. This is our future until today. This is what we get. No more Sabbath. So God is still providing us a Sabbath, ultimate Sabbath of a man's Sabbath, which is only going to come on the future, which we call 1,000 reign. There is going to be a rest. What kind of rest? Man's Shabbat, everyday Shabbat. God is going to provide us everything exactly the same condition as Garden of Eden. The condition of Garden of Eden is going to be bring back on the 1,000 years reign. There you don't need to work hard, and God is going to provide you everything that you need, everything that you ever want for your body, even in the spiritual and even in physically. Even the animals, the ox and the fox and the lion, they are going to be together. Even the little child will lead them. The same condition, perfect condition as the Garden of Eden is going to bring back to the 1,000 years reign. This is the promise of God. So today God is giving us a rest. Man Shabbat. What kind of rest? After Jesus is providing us spiritual rest, which is our soul. Our soul can be rest today, but body do not rest until today. So Jesus says in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 and 30, come to me, all you who were weary and burdened, and I will give you a rest. Take my yoke upon and learn from me. For I am gentle and humble in heart, and you shall find the rest of your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So this is only for your soul, only for my soul. But my body is still need to be very hardworking, because God has already given us a curse In the book of Genesis, which we've been reading, when God has driven them out from the Garden of Eden, they are being cursed. They need to be worked really hard, really, really hard. No rest, no work, no rest for the body, no rest for the soul. But today, we obtain the rest of the soul. We enter His rest. Hebrew chapter 4 verse 3. For only we have belief can enter His rest. Where do we enter? His rest, right? In New Testament, the rest of our soul can be obtained. So let us continue reading. As for the other, God says, in my anger, I took an oath that they shall never enter my rest place. God has taken an oath that humanity will never enter to the rest place, which means Shabbat. Nobody is going to enter the Shabbat. But today, God has opened the door for the rest of our soul when we believe in Him. Therefore it says, for only we who believe can enter His rest. Let us continue reading. Even though His rest has been ready since He made the world. And there comes the most important question. The most important question to ask is, what is Israelite Sabbath, Israelite rest? Israelite rest should be observed on the seventh day by the Jewish people. What I mean is Israelite people. Before Jesus come, before Jesus has providing the rest of their soul. Physically, they have to rest. Not us, not the church, not the people that believe in Jesus Christ, but only for the Jewish people. It is a shadow that where we are going to rest, where all the man is going to obtain man's Sabbath. The condition of the Garden of Eden, when God has bring back to the 1,000 years reign, millennium, thousand years millennium reign, when Jesus is bringing back all the rest. Before that, God has given them to practice the rest on the seventh day as a shadow, as a sign, not a real. It is just a shadow and it is just a sign. The reality is of Christ, and we are going to obtain this rest on the 1,000 years reign millenniums. Everybody is going to rest. Every day there is no work. You can do whatever you want, but complete rest. Not only body, not only soul. Today we enter the rest of the soul for your spirit, but not the body. The body is for the body rest, physical rest is for Israelite people on the seventh day. But for the Christian, Gentile Christian, we obtain the spiritual rest. And both of them simultaneously, today we cannot obtain both of them at the same time. But near in the future, on the 1,000 years reigns of millenniums, we are going to obtain simultaneously both physical and spiritually rest. Perfect condition of the Garden of Eden. This is what actually mean of the Sabbath. Today, do we really need to be observed on the seventh day as Jewish people? If you are a Jew, suppose you were Jews, you might need to observe. I don't know that. But if you are, suppose you are a Gentile and Christian, you already enter to the God Sabbath by spirit, but your physically do not rest today, but your physical and your spirit is both going to be rest on the near future on the 1,000 years reign. Creation Sabbath is God rest. Man Sabbath is the whole humanity rest. And Israelite Sabbath is only for Israelite people. It is just a sign. Okay, so if you are not a physically, your DNA and blood is not an Israelite, you don't need to observe that. Because God has prepared a way more better Sabbath for you. Humanity, the whole humanity. Sabbath, body or physically and spiritually. Today you already obtain and already enter to His rest place. For your soul, not for your body. Keep in mind, not for your body, only for your soul today. But near in the future, both of them simultaneously at the same time. We are going to rest every day. Does Bible really say the Sabbath is just a shadow, not a real? Of course it does. Of course it does. Let us go to the Colossians chapter 2 verse 16 and 17. Therefore, do not let anyone judge you by what you eat or what you drink, or what you or with regard to the religious festival, a new moon celebration, or a Sabbath day. Keep in mind, there comes a Shabbat day, right? A new moon or celebration or a Sabbath day. Let's go for 17. These are what are these? These are the Shabbat and new moon and all the religious festival, including the Sabbath day. 17. These are the shadow. These are the shadow. I'm going to repeat again. These are the shadow of things that were to come. The reality, however, is found in Christ. The reality is found in Christ. We already enter, when we believe in Jesus Christ, into his rest to the soul, to our spirit realm, not in a physically. Right? So this is just a shadow. If you still want to hold on the shadow, it's your choice. I got nothing to say about it. It's your choice. It's totally 100% your choice. What's really matter is, do you really enter to his rest? The rest of our soul, not our body. Because our body is not going to rest today. The body rest is only for the Jewish people. It is also only on the 7th day. But in the 1,000 years reign, we are going to rest every day. The Saturday would be exist. The Sabbath would be exist. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All of the day is going to be exist. But we are not going to observe the day. Every day is going to be a rest. Every day is going to be a Sabbath. I'm not saying that there will not be a Sabbath. I say every day is going to be a Sabbath. We're going to observe every day. No, you don't have to work every day. Right? Every day is going to be rest. This is the whole message for the Sabbath. The whole complete message for Sabbath is the whole humanity is going to rest one day, both physically and both spiritually. But today, before we obtain the rest of our soul, Israelite people practice this in their physical body as a sign, as a shadow. When the reality come, Jesus bring the real Sabbath. We enter to his Sabbath of our soul. And near in the future, when the second coming of Jesus Christ, God is going to defeat Satan physically. God has already defeated Satan and spiritually on the cross of Calvary 2,000 years ago. But in the near future, Jesus is going to come, and also Satan is going to come physically with the body of Antichrist, as God is going to defeat in physically, because he already defeated spiritually. Now he needs to defeat him in physically. After all of this, we are going to be rest both physically and spiritually. No more working. Okay, this is the whole message. What the Sabbath is trying to show us. Thank you so much for listening till the end. God is protecting you from the all evil teaching and evil doctrines all over our face, just in front of our face, that we see. God is protecting you from the wrong teaching and giving you wisdom through this message. And finally, God bless you.